thousands of people. So imagine you're on a subway and some wild man strikes your wife in the face. Before you can react, a bunch of activists jumps between you and the attacker to keep you from protecting her. In fact, they're screaming that it's your fault. How would you feel? Pretty much like Israel. Here in America, as war rages, our nation's caring progressives aren't being asked to do anything much. All they do is the easy stuff. They protest from afar. Over the weekend, 7,000 progressives took to the streets in the People's Republic of Brooklyn, shutting down the bridge. True, during those hours, there wasn't a barista or women's studies professor left anywhere in town. And really, it's a wonder we still have an obesity problem in this country with all the marching they do. The marchers carried banners like "Honor the Martyrs" and "From the River to the Sea," a phrase which advocates the complete eradication of Israel. It's either that or the condition of Joe Biden's Depends after 3 iced teas. I know, I felt bad about that. Protected by the same cops they were likely throwing things at during George Floyd's Summer of Love 2 years ago, these brave weekend warriors banged drums and Instagrammed every moment of Saturday afternoon's fight against the man. Yes, the man. It's the only time where that pronoun is acceptable. But walking in the streets screaming "ceasefire now" is no great imposition, especially when you're not the one getting fired on, like those young people in the desert. It's like lecturing someone who's been doused in kerosene about the dangers of secondhand smoke. Even better, after this display of compassion, you'll be back to your PlayStation in no time. Of course, protesting here solves nothing, quite the opposite. For the protest here enables other people over there to do even more harm than they've already done. It's why your simplistic worldview of standing with the oppressed is completely invalid. You don't really stand with the oppressed. You're marching for extra credit. And you aren't sacrificing a thing. Instead, you're adding to the mayhem through approval. Because while you protest, others who are actually in harm's way will have to sacrifice. There's compulsory military draft in Israel for a reason, because the bullets and bombs they face aren't on a video screen, they're real. So you can protest against them, but you're protesting against their survival at no cost to you. And oddly, you don't protest other things, like, for example, the Ukraine war. Funny how no one shuts down the Brooklyn Bridge over that. In Russia, louts even stormed an Israeli flight, but not a Ukrainian one. They demanded to know who were the Jews, and it wasn't to invite them to next year's Rosh Hashanah Seder. I don't even know if I said that right. Catholic school. Hundreds of thousands are already dead in Russia's expansionist war on Ukraine, and America is paying for it in billions and billions of tax money. So where's the campus outrage over that? Hell, misgendering a 50-year-old man dressed in a tutu will get these idiots more pissed off. So what's the difference? Could it be a pigment problem? If only white people die, who gives a And so the crazy man on the subway gets a free shot at your wife because she's not an approved marginalized group with the proper skin color. And that's the mechanism which chooses for the gullible and lazy protester which side they should be on. If you default automatically to oppressed versus oppressor, you end up protesting a potential war following an unspeakable atrocity, as opposed to a wasteful war that you've been paying for. Well, that we've been paying for, not those deadbeats who are protesting. So if you were out there in the perfect autumn weather, screaming phrases like "by any means necessary," maybe you should get off the bridge, take off the checkered headscarf, and ask yourself this: is clinging to the white oppressor mindset really leading to good decisions? When it leads you to side with a pre-modern terrorist group that beheads babies, a group that wouldn't tolerate your beloved multiculturalism for a nanosecond, that treats women like property and gays like monsters? I don't see too many rainbow flags in Palestine. Do you? So do you really want Hamas as an ally over the Mideast's only genuinely developed pluralistic society? In other words, do you really hate Western civilization and hate yourself that much? All these protests this weekend would have been braver on October 6th, warning Hamas against violence. But that's like warning The View against donuts. Oh. They also would have been braver on October 8th, condemning Hamas after the atrocities. But weeks later, safely protected by a tolerant society they hate, all this was just detached performative passion bought and paid for that only preserves a terror sect and does nothing for the cause of peace. They're screaming so violently about it, but they don't mean it. The American system is and was an experiment in the concept of live and let live. It's actual diversity, not the one you always hear about that's about as fake as Dylan Mulvaney's tits. But now we see the tools to sustain the experiment are being smashed. Why is Israel hated? Because compared to the rest of the Middle East, it looks a lot like us. It looks like a Western civilization that a few coddled college professors have convinced half the electorate needs to be destroyed because it's institutionally racist. Turns out the river to the sea isn't just the Jordan River to the Mediterranean, it's the Mississippi to the Atlantic and Pacific as well. But Israel is something we're also not. It's cohesive. So as they fight side by side, we end up turning on ourselves. Thanks to the oppressed mindset, we aren't capable of understanding what Israel is fighting for, their very existence, because we're here too busy fighting us. Let's welcome tonight's guests. Like Halloween candy, you should always check him for pins and razor blades. Fox News contributor Charlie Hertz. She's not a ghost, but you can still call her Boo. Host of the Fox True Crime Podcast, Emily Campagno. He didn't even know it was Halloween. That's just how he dresses. Host of Fox Across America, Jimmy Vela. And tonight she'll scare children by talking about the deficit. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Took. Charlie, always good to see you.
Great to see you.
Really?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you. What are you going as?
Just myself.
Well, someone has to, I guess. So the scary part about this is that you always hope that the old extremism would die off, but we realize it just gets passed along. There's a whole new generation out there that hates the West.
Oh, yeah. And I think your point is exactly right about Israel. The reason they hate it so much is because it is the only Western nation over there. And, you know, and when you turn on the TV and you see these protests happening in our country and you're like, this is not America. You know, we are blessed in that we are the one country that is built on a creed, on an idea. We're not, we've not been shackled by race and religion and all of it. This was the place where everybody can come and check your racism or check your bigotry at the door and come here and abide by these ideas, and we all get along and we all make money.
Yeah.
You can't be surprised by when you have an entire political party in our country that is solely devoted to dividing people by race. And Democrats, for the past 15 years, their identity politics is all about racializing everybody. And the result of it is what you see here. You have these two sides fighting over basically having racial fights. And we've seen it going back through all of the protests. For the past 3 years. Yeah,
if you eliminate the variable of actually cohabitating together, this is what you're going to get. They're arguing for segregation or war. You know, I am pro-protest, Emily. I'm lying, but I am. Do you find that these protests are in any way helpful, or are they rather instead self-indulgent?
Self-indulgent at a minimum. I think they are a joke. And we've talked about this before, that these protesters are doing the work of these terrorist organizations for them. They represent the West that Hamas and others have sworn to eradicate and destroy. They think that they would be celebrated over there, that queers and solidarity and those other ridiculous signs, not realizing that they too would be slaughtered and butchered. And those neophytes taking off time from Starbucks to go walk there and ruin our city, to me represent, again, the success of what has been a campaign to socially agitate this entire country and to take over college campuses. And you can call it socialism or communism or just straight up an insidious spread of hatred. And when you talk about the anti-Semitic organizations and groups, it has been codified in global groups that this administration never questions. And that's one thing that I loved about Trump. He said, why United Nations? Tell me about NATO. What are we contributing? Those of you who just pay your bills, and what are you getting from those bills?
Exactly.
So the United Nations has condemned Israel more times than any other country combined. They have failed to condemn last year even once. China, Venezuela, Qatar. All of those scot-free.
Canada
deserves it the most.
Yes.
And yet they also moved for the International Criminal Court to investigate Israel, internationally criminal court, for what they've said was and that's the body that we're supposed to be using to acknowledge it or move for a ceasefire? Why? That is the body that has codified and embodies anti-Semitism, and it's why, in part, it's spread everywhere and become acceptable. I wish we had a commander-in-chief or a secretary of state or a director of the CIA that would stand up and say, not on our watch. But it remains to be seen whether that will happen in 2024.
Well said.
Spicy.
You know, Jimmy, can you compare the hatred from these pro-Hamas protesters to the audiences after attending one of your shows?
They love me. Are you kidding me? Look at me. Okay,
Yes.
I'm not like a Chippendale. I'm more like a Chips-and-Dale, like a little chubby. But there's two. Don't laugh at that. Shame on you. But there's two dueling factions here. There's a big chunk of this that is legitimate anti-Semitism. And those people need to be careful, because if you keep saying anti-Semitic things, Democrats will send you to Congress. Okay, that's the thing. They're going to do that. But the other faction is, and this is identity politics, it caters to intellectually lazy people, meaning stupid people. And I say that because like 3/4 of the people on the Brooklyn Bridge this weekend chanting "Kill the Jews" live in an apartment with a "Hate has no home here" sticker on the door, or a "Coexist" sticker. You know what I'm saying? Half of these idiot guys on the bridge think Gaza Strip is a gentleman's club. They have no idea. And they're marching like, this is what we're doing now. But protest has become, and that's all you should be chanting. This is what we're doing now. Because this is defund the police. It's no different than from the river to the sea. It's the same idiots, and they're now contradicting themselves. That's what's so stupid.
That contradiction, Kat, it's true. Many of these protesters probably protested against like right-wing violence. And now they're calling for an elimination of Israel. They're not saying that. Well, some of them are. From the rivers, whatever.
Good to see you.
What say you?
From the rivers, whatever. Well, it's weird, but I think that Jimmy had a lot of good points.
Jimmy!
Well, because honestly, I mean, look, I think that it's obviously completely human to really feel for innocent civilians anywhere who are suffering. But then, of course, there's some of these people who are just straight up like, the terrorism is okay, which obviously that's gross and all of that. But, you know, I think that you're right. I think that a lot of these people, they don't really think it through that much. They're like, okay, I've heard this is the thing that I'm supposed to be saying, or I'm supposed to have this take, or I'm supposed to have that take. I don't think anybody really thinks that much about it because it's just too complicated and difficult. They'd rather just go with all their friends are doing.
Thank you. But to your other point about marches, the one reason I support this is a lot of those women did need the exercise. Okay. Maybe instead of occupying the bridge, you occupy a treadmill.
And they were so close to the water, they could have taken a bath.
But,
all right.
But that's great. Some of you need to lay off the Hamas and go with some Hamas.
Well said.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.